are the Non-Prophets. Welcome, adventurer. I'm Denis Loubet, along with Russell Glasser and
Jamie Boone.
We're coming to you live from the ancient Free Thought Library in the lost city of Austin, Texas on the 4th of April, 2018. This show is sponsored by the mysterious Atheist Community of Austin, a deathless, non-profit educational organization from the mists of time immemorial for the promotion of positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you have courage enough to learn more about this secretive cabal, you can brave the trial of their voicemail at 512-220-6561 or fight to the death on their website at www.atheist-community.org. The Non-Prophets challenges you live every first and third Wednesday of each month from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. You can accompany us on our dark path by following the sacred manuscripts found at www.nonprophetsradio.com and joining the chat room. So sit back and master the arcane arts of the Non-Prophets if you dare.
I don't know if I dare.
Yeah, that was quite the introduction.
I went to town.
Yeah.
Well met.
All right.
You went to town. Did you go to the tavern to make a party?
No, I took an arrow to the knee.
Oh, okay. I hate when that happens.
And now I'm glad that I don't have to hear the listener mail complaining.
Yes. Unless we drag you on next time. And we're all still kind of adjusting to the idea of a Jeff-less non-profits.
I know.
For now.
It's like we're all naked.
Yeah.
So, wait, do I need to become, like, clothes? Because I don't know how to do that.
Yes, Jeff clothed and sheltered us all.
He did. He did. He protected us in his aura of atheism.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, Jeff hasn't left the show in a fit of pique, or as far as I know, he didn't tell us.
He wouldn't tell us if it was.
He made up some job that he has that.
I was going to say, if Jeff is mad, he just doesn't let anyone know about it.
No.
Yeah, Jeff tends to bottle things up inside like that.
Plays it close to the chest.
No.
Yeah. Is this show? Am I making the show more sarcastic? Because I'm happy to make that contribution.
Oh no, if you
Please.
Well, okay, so we have
The more
a sarcasm
the better.
deficit from Jeff leaving, and so you've still got a ways to go before you reach this. Before we reach parity.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure I can rise to that challenge.
Yeah.
Boom. All right.
How's everybody been?
Doing okay. I just recently got a new acquisition, a graphics tablet monitor. A Dell Canvas. It's really nice.
Okay, wait. So it is a monitor for your tablet?
No, it's a monitor with touch sensitivity and a stylus where you can, with levels of pressure, so you can draw on it.
And
it's a graphics tablet that
big?
is a monitor.
Is it big?
Yes,
How big is it?
it's
What are
enormous.
the specs?
It's like the Dell Canvas 27, and it fills
27
a desktop.
inches?
Yeah, it's like this
geez.
wide. It's crazy.
And it's a tablet.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's like you're drawing directly on the screen. It looks really cool.
Does not sound like something you'd bring to doodle on an airplane, though.
No. That there are such things that are like that, but they are
Sounds like a thing
small.
you'd
They
bring
are
to
also
your-
expensive.
Yeah, it sounds like a thing you'd bring to your private jet rather than an airplane.
Yeah.
I was resisting making some kind of joke because you were excited about your new computer.
Yes.
You guys went on and on about how big it is and it's receptive to pressure and it's
Yeah.
large. And you, okay. So,
Knock yourself out.
I'm not following you.
well, when a mommy and a daddy, or two daddies or two mommies, or two people of any...
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Where were you this weekend, Jamie?
Well, I was in Oklahoma City, but wait, I had a good reason.
What?
And that may be difficult to believe because it's
Oklahoma
Oklahoma
City?
City. Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Although I think like a fifth of the people in Oklahoma City. Well, I shouldn't cut off your sentence because you haven't.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. So there was an atheist invasion. We for the weekend conquered Oklahoma City, I think. When we went, Russell, I know where you were this weekend as well because I was at the American Atheist National Convention for this year.
Wow, me too. What a coincidence.
Oh my gosh! How come we didn't bump into each other there? Actually, yeah, we didn't spend that much time hanging out.
Spent plenty of time hanging out with you.
Yeah. I'm an acquired
Actually,
taste.
we were gonna drive with you, but you decided to
Well, you say decided
wait
to.
hours and hours and hours.
No, I got the key to my new place a day later than I needed to, and so that was okay. I have to have everything out of this room in my old place before I go to Oklahoma City. How quickly can I do that?
I've gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway, we each respectively, so about 10 total Atheist Community of Austin members drove up, cast and crew and some family members and one social media person who came all the way from Florida to be with us.
Oh.
Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Shout out. Yeah. And thank
Janet's
you to
daughter.
everyone that donated to make that possible, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, and we hope to do more of it. And American Atheist has announced already that their next convention is going to be in Ohio.
Oh.
And
when are they going to bring it back to Austin? I mean, we're here.
we
Shouldn't
don't
they
lean
come to
on them a
Austin?
lot. Or
Yet.
nearly enough. Yeah. But I
don't know,
don't
do
know
we-
about you, but I had a blast.
Oh, yeah. No, it was amazing. It was the first convention I'd ever been to. Like, the atheist gatherings that I've been to have been ACA events, which are great, but they don't draw people that go to them every year and have like multiple speakers and everything. This Saturday, quick side plug, the ACA lecture series is having, the name of the talk is basically, did you hear the one about the atheists that went to Sunday school? And it's Rex and Owen, and it's going to be great. More information on
our lectures on Saturday now
our-
regularly.
This one is we're trying it out. I'm
Okay.
trying to make it where not everything we do is all on Sunday every
Okay.
time.
Well, we should announce that on Sunday's show. Well, whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope we have adequate communication about that.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be great. Well, anyway, but the convention was fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I missed my opportunity. I joked about it, but I didn't like stand up on a chair and just shout, "There is no God," to gauge the reaction.
There
that's
would have
what you're
been no
supposed to
reaction.
do,
Everybody
right?
would be like, "Yeah, and."
Yeah. I would have told a couple friends like, "No, start a slow clap when I do it." See
Although,
what happens.
of course, it was happening in the middle of Oklahoma. And I had a very amusing conversation with our friend Daniel, who is in turn a friend of Anthony Magnabosco, who some of you may know as the
Street epistemology.
street epistemologist. And they go out and have street conversations, sort of like the kind of conversations we have with Christians, but nicer.
Yeah.
And so Dan, who I think is kind of an understudy for Anthony Magnabosco, came to me and he said, I went out and did some street epistemology, and those people are nuts. And I was like, Dan, don't you live in Waco, Texas? And he said, no, this is way beyond that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get more details out of him sometime.
Yeah, he should do that. They're doing stuff on a YouTube channel or something. I don't know what it is, so I can't plug it. But Yeah, that's cool. I bumped into him there too. There was a bunch of other YouTubers and everything that we bumped into that it was cool. A couple of them I'm gonna try. I've tried to like geek out and fanboy before, but mostly it's just like it's like seeing a magic trick. I'm like, wow, that's awesome, but I don't have like a visceral emotional reaction. Eric and I got
Jaded.
Eric and I got recognized by a couple of podcasters that we really like Eli Bosnick remembered who I was. The guys from Scathing Atheists and God Awful Movies and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now it seems like we're all just name dropping, although I feel like doing that the whole show.
Yeah. Hugh Laurie was there, but we got gypped. We didn't get to meet him.
Turns out Hugh Laurie is quite funny in person. I mean, he does a lot of comedy, but you can never be sure if they're just good at doing things that other people wrote for him. Yeah. And he was very modest. Dave Silverman showed him a bunch of clips of him in House MD.
Oh, he was a very popular British comedian. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, he was there.
He's a funny guy.
But I mean, Dave Silverman wanted to ask him things about House's opinions, and he was like, you'd have to, you should have invited the writer on instead.
Yes.
He mentioned that a couple of times. He's like, and so next year will be I forget the writer's name. It was sort of like, actually. Depending on where he lives, I should reach out to him, see if he'll do a lecture for the ACA if he's ever in.
I think in England somewhere.
Yeah. That may be harder to arrange.
Yeah. He also repeated what I have heard from many British people, including Douglas Adams, which is that you can be a staunch atheist in Britain, but it's no big deal at all. And being a Hollywood guy who also comes over here a lot, he was like, that, the religious stuff is just the weirdest cultural thing to come to.
Yeah. I think his joke was like, you could have this convention in the UK, but it would be like speaking to a convention of right-handed people.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah. So scissors, right?
Yes.
Righties.
That was his joke. I didn't deliver it quite with the same accent, but
no.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like going up to him and asking him if he would please trash talk Benedict Cumberbatch for playing an inferior, smug American doctor.
Wait, they no, never mind. Sorry. I was about to ask a question about Benedict Cumberbatch, but I don't care.
So both Talk Heathen, which is your show basically, and the Atheist Experience have new live episodes up if you go to their YouTube channel, so you should check it out. And maybe next year we could do NonProphets or something, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Dennis had a long pause right there. I'm not sure how excited he is.
I did.
His eyes failed to light up.
I'm
never mind.
Trying to catch up here.
I now kind of understand what people mean when they're like, "Oh no, go to a convention. It's great." It is.
So is that your message for our listeners today?
Yeah. Do that.
Yep.
So it was a sort of a difference between like a literary fan convention and a media fan convention.
Yeah. I've never been to a literary fan convention. I've been to the
what is a literary fan convention like?
book nerds.
It's more focusing on the authors, and the dealer's room is considerably smaller.
They don't draw the same crowds that
because they're actually just selling books,
Well, Dennis, I feel like if you had been there, you would have gotten some double takes where people turn around and go, "I know that voice." I got that a few times. Like, even though people watch me, a lot of people only listen via podcast.
Yeah, wish I could have gone. I'd have struggled more to go if I hadn't been on deadline with some art stuff. So.
Did you finish?
Oh, I was.
Nope, still not done yet. Working on it.
You sound like me trying to move, actually. But actually, before we go, we revamped all of our Atheist Experience merch, launched Talk Heathen merch, and new nonprofits merch. Actually, I don't know if we have new stuff or whether it's just we have more of it now, which you can buy on Evolve Fish. And also, if you show up here, you can also buy it.
Speaking as convention attendee, thank you to the generous Atheist Community of Austin for all the stuff that I got to experience on your dime. Speaking as the president of the Atheist Community of Austin, I'm still waiting to hear how much we made from products.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, selling
That's
swag.
Yeah. I think Eric's in the other room.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. He had the box last time. So do we want to get on to, fighting Jesus?
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Let's see here. I've been so busy talking that I haven't had time to flip through those stories.
Do we have anything else that's related to the convention to talk about, Russell?
We will.
Oh, okay.
We'll probably get early. We'll probably get to our regular segment early, if that's cool with you, Dennis.
Sure.
So we're teasing a segment later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
We're needling you.
Have we got any good email?
Do you have any news?
No.
Oh, gosh.
I was
Okay.
afraid of that.
Well,
yes, I
let's see here.
do, but I have too much to choose from.
Welcome to Jamie Vamps while these two can fight it out.
Well, let's see if this guy can help.
right, this guy.
Jonathan writes, I too have heard the argument that Satan only really attacks Christians because the non-Christians are doomed anyway.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What prompted that discussion last week?
Now I've forgotten the original source of the whole thread.
So,
Well,
it was all the shooter stuff because it was like people are praying. The more people pray, the more these school shootings just keep happening.
Right.
And America is one of the most religious countries. One of the most religious first world countries, let's say, anywhere, like by a lot.
Yeah, by a lot.
And the question was sort of, why do we experience so many more mass shootings when presumably we have so many more people praying?
Yeah.
I got that?
mm-hmm. It's because we're so
It's
good.
because we're so good that Satan has to attack.
That's what I was going to
That
say.
was the topic, yeah.
That's it. That's the logic. Okay.
Logic is a generous word.
Yeah, he says it's a way of apologizing for bad things still happening to Christians and that they are singled for adversity by Satan and his minions. Mm-hmm. It's a twisted version of Jesus seeking the lost sheep. I guess Satan is going to attack the sheep left behind while Jesus is busy searching for that sheep. Yeah.
I mean, you'd think that Jesus would find it faster.
You'd think so. You'd think being omniscient, it would help. But
Or maybe it's one of the 99 sheep that he left to fend for themselves while he went off and found the one sheep. I don't know.
could be.
Could be that, yeah. Well, thank you, that guy.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like no matter what the question is, the answer is always, oh, the bad thing was Satan and Jesus is still good as an answer.
Except, the whole destruction of the earth.
Yeah.
Right? That's supposed to be a God thing.
Yeah,
that's
but
not Satan doing that.
but it's
But
good.
that's a good thing.
Because God. Because
Satan wants to destroy the earth, but he's not powerful enough. So
Right.
God shows off.
God
and
has to
that's-
show him how to do it.
Yes, and that's why
the
he's
hell?
the good guy.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it makes people better at like storytelling to constantly having to invent stories to explain everyday occurrences? Like, oh, I couldn't find a parking space, but that's because Satan was trying to keep me out of there because one of the people in there was a Jesus. Like,
Well, it certainly exercises their ability to, manipulate logic
yeah.
to their benefit. I mean, damn.
Mm.
We watched a show, a movie. I watched a movie with Jeff last night.
Okay. Let's all live vicariously through you and pretend we're enjoying Jeff's company.
How is he? Is he eating enough? Is he?
He is. He's looking good. He's gotten past the sallow skin stage. And it was basically a film we streamed about events spiraling out of control when this Christian archaeologist is trying to unearth basically religious relics, and due to unfortunate circumstances, he starts faking them. And it
Unfortunate.
But what was neat was the dialogue was all in this. When the Christians were talking to other Christians, it was really they were using all the weird language and stuff. It was
the like fundamentalist language.
Yeah. That normal people can't understand.
They had their bright countenances walking the narrow path, or what have you.
Yeah, using all sorts of their own terminology for stuff. It's like it's weird.
I kind of want to learn how to talk, how to speak Christian fundamentalist as a dialect. But
I mean, go to church and hang out with them. It's like it's a learned skill.
Is there another way to
Yeah, that is a lot of effort there.
Everything should be on the internet, right? So but they've got their own way of talking, man.
Yeah.
And it's all tied up with their twisted logic. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna read. Well, okay. First of all, I'm gonna read a very short thing from an article suggested by, I'm gonna say, Robert Chmielewski on Twitter.
Nailed it.
Using hashtag nonprofits news, which is a very easy way to get my attention. Thank you. I just feel like I don't have to read this whole story, but just this one bit, which is that a 35-year-old youth pastor from Denver named Josh Clemens had a 17-year-old girl in his congregation, and then on her 18th birthday, he sent her a card that said, "We're legal."
Oh.
Yeah. Ew. Thanks, Robert.
We need a shower here.
And moving on.
Damn.
Prof on Twitter. No, wait. I'm sorry. Where is that one? Okay, on Twitter, Merkforce, whose name appears to be "I am on fire."
Youch.
On Twitter, submitted this story from ABC News that in Ohio, a new bill has been introduced to ban all abortions, no exceptions for rape or incest.
That sounds constitutional, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I wonder how the Supreme Court will rule on that.
Well, it's getting harder to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did one recently that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Unlike previous legislation on abortion, House Bill 565 would consider an unborn human a person, and the bill would make no exceptions for rape and incest. It is sponsored by state representatives Nino Vital and Ron Hood. We make it very clear in the state of Ohio, we consider the unborn person, a child, a person like you or me or any other person that has a right to life, said Hood. Gabriel Mann of NARAL Pro-Choice, Ohio, calls the bill a serious attack and part of a larger plan to overturn Roe v. Wade. This isn't your normal abortion ban. This is a plan to end access to all abortion services in the state of Ohio, explained Mann. The bill has to go through the legislative process, and opponents promise to fight by calling lawmakers and voicing their concerns.
For a second, I thought it was going to be by calling lawmakers fucking idiots. And
Yeah.
Yes, well,
If
they'll
only
do
it
that
was that
too.
easy.
Yeah.
Every bit helps.
God.
Yeah, what is there to say here? They
Do they know that if they okay, look, I hate to be the guy that's
Yeah.
like, you're doing your thing wrong. Here's how you would actually achieve your aims. But
Oh,
if you,
yeah.
I forgive me for being that guy, but if you wanted to make abortion illegal, oh God, what am I saying out loud on the air? All right, if you wanted to make abortion illegal, you amend the Constitution. That's the Supreme Court has a ruling, and if you don't like that, there's a way of. I mean, don't try and
it's
do that.
actually kind
Okay.
of easier to make abortion unnecessary.
Yeah, well, logic is a generous word oftentimes, but
amending the Constitution is very hard.
yeah.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
We should just convince them that no, everyone likes Trump. Throw your efforts to actually doing it the legal way, because then
Yeah, but that wouldn't work. And on some level, I think they know that, which is why instead of doing that, instead of just successfully making abortion illegal everywhere, which they probably can't do, they just do things like in Texas, which is, I mean, they don't have national control, but they have very tight control in a lot of regional areas. And they can't straight up say that it's outlawed, but they can pass every irritating nuisance bill that they can to make it difficult or impossible in a particular situation.
Yeah, they can make it practically impossible. Yeah.
Right.
So I know there's actually, not to sidetrack this, but there's the hashtag nonprofits.
Sidetracking is all we do on this show.
Yes.
Don't you listen?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Now you've sidetracked me to talk about sidetracking. I sidetrack. All right. Okay. The 1 point to Russell. All right. So, is there a hashtag that people should use during, where they can be tweeting things?
Nonprofits news. If
Hey,
that's
Okay. Cool.
if that's what you're after.
Well, yeah. All right.
You looking for something in particular?
No, I was just like, you're on Twitter, so I want to do it too. Russell's cool and he's doing it.
Well, everybody tweet hashtag nonprofits news. Hi, Jamie, right now, so that he'll know that you're paying attention. And then, of course, I expect those to all straggle in over the next couple of weeks. What's your Twitter handle? I think I tweeted this morning that I was doing the show with you, so somewhere in my history.
Well, my Twitter handle is @reason_evidence.
Oh, okay. I hope I tweeted at the right account. I mean, I think I did.
you can tweet at any account that you're doing a show with me, but I think most of them may not be.
Yes, here it is @reason_evidence. I just started typing. Actually, I started typing heathen because that was how I thought you would. I thought I remembered your name looked. Yeah, you're Jamie Heathen. Reason_evidence, which is not pompous at all. Good job.
Nope.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Right on the nose. And there, yeah.
But were you saying
self-credit?
something, or is this all a sidetrack?
I mean, is there a problem if it's all a sidetrack? That's what we do. Right? Okay.
Yeah, it's all sidetrack.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Side quests,
Yeah.
it's weird.
We have to get as much XP as we can before we even bother with the main quest.
That's right.
That's true. Plus, the main quest this week is going to be lengthy and require vitriol, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, as far as them just like, oh, we can pass something in the state and then all abortions will go away.
Yeah, poof.
I think on a fundamental level, they may know that trying to amend the Constitution would be a lengthy process that would be hard, etc. Blah. But it's not like they can't
Fundamental level.
at a fundamental level, in a fundamental, well, I don't know, in a fundamentalist way.
In a fundamentalist world.
Yeah, I was hearing a modified version of the Willy Wonka theme. Come with me,
Yes.
No.
and you'll see in a world of complete fundamentalization. There's no laws, just lots of Jesus everywhere. I don't know what that would look like. It'd be bad.
It would be
Okay.
bad.
All right. Anyway.
Dennis,
Yeah.
got any mail?
Let's see.
Oh, no.
I think I do. Hang on here. Hang on. Let's see.
Gotta make better use of tabs, man.
I know. Let's see. Here's one from Keith.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know what your standards for attribution are, but please do not read my email address on air. His email address is... No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, love the show. I had a sort of moral conundrum that I've been batting about in my head for a while. Can't seem to settle on a position that feels internally consistent.
Ooh, a conundrum.
Assume that we don't know exactly how anesthesia works, just that it does. As I understand it, it is somewhat true, but I'm no expert, so it's hypothetical. It's a total mystery. And assume that we have two competing hypotheses about how it gets the job done. In the first, the brain is as off as possible and is not receiving any messages of pain from the nerves during the surgery.
Oh, we're going for the Twilight Zone / Tales from the Crypt scenario, where
Yeah.
actually they are fully conscious while being dismembered or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
In the second, the brain is receiving all the pain signals and is fully experiencing the agony of the operation, but none of this input is being recorded for retrieval later.
When he says anesthesia, is he actually talking about like temporary dulling the pain?
No, he's talking about when you're knocked out for an operation.
Okay. Well,
So
I mean, I know a little bit of the non-hypothetical side of this, but that's less fun.
well, we don't like fun on this show. So
Okay. Well, then allow me to tell you my non-expert
Well,
knowledge.
wait,
of this,
is that the end of the letter?
No,
You got
no,
one?
no.
Oh, okay.
That's just the setup.
Because I feel like we've already got where he's going with this,
Assume-
but we should
All right,
finish
yeah,
the
yeah.
line.
Right. Assume that in both... No, it actually takes a twist. Assume that in both cases there is no external physiological indication of pain, increased heart rate or anything. And in both cases, the patient is revived with no way of telling which scenario they were in.
Because they also don't remember it?
Right. That's the whole thing. The first thing is you're completely knocked out. You don't experience any pain. The second is you experience all the pain of the operation, but it doesn't get recorded in memory. Just like your dreams and stuff don't get recorded in memory, a lot of them. You know, it's not set up to things. So
Okay.
that is actually what some people consider, they worry that that's what anesthesia does.
Clearly, this guy doesn't have as dark an imagination as I do, because I went straight for the Tales from the Crypt episode I saw once, where a bunch of students are told that this guy is, clinically dead and feels nothing,
Right.
but he's actually inside his head aware of everything,
Screaming
and they're
yeah.
cutting him up and
Right.
stuff. And
He says, maybe this is just me, but even though the possibility of being immobilized and cut open seems horrific on its face, if I were the patient in this situation, I don't think I'd be troubled by it. That is, knowing that on the other side of the procedure, I'd be exactly the same either way, I'm okay with some temporary me suffers, then just sort of ceases to exist. And assuming it's otherwise safe and effective, I'd be okay with a medical establishment that regularly uses such a method. Where I start to get confused, and here's the twist, is when I apply the same thinking to lethal injection, which typically comes in the form of a series of drugs which first immobilizes, then kills. Opponents have argued, legally, not morally, that between those stages, the drug cocktails may cause the person a great deal of pain leading up to their eventual death. I don't know the evidence for this claim, but for the sake of the hypothetical, assume it remains unsettled. If the person is dead at the end either way, it's more or less impossible to say with certainty whether or not they suffered in the process. Assuming I'm okay with a painless death penalty, I'm not, but that's beside the point. It would be consistent with my feelings about the anesthesia to say that it doesn't matter whether they suffer or not. And yet, I have an empathic impulse that it does matter, that this suffering should be avoided, even though the dead body can't possibly care. I'm not sure where my thinking is wrong here, false equivalency or genuine cognitive dissonance. Anyway, it's something I've had fun wrestling with for a while. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
First of all, if I may muddy the waters even a little more.
Go for it.
Lethal injection is kind of hand-waved as a fairly humane way to off somebody, but the creator of the drug, I think, was deeply uncomfortable with the way that his stuff was used, and
I can understand that.
And in recent years, for those of you who haven't been following the story, it's gotten harder to get a hold of the actual original or the legally sanctioned drug. It was only available after being manufactured by various international organizations who lived in places where either laws have gotten more restrictive or the companies themselves had gotten more of a conscience. So the supply of that lethal injection drug has dried up over time. The number of states that allow lethal injection has declined, but there are some that are just diehards and never want to give it up. They've been running out of the stuff, and they've been basically paying people with the lack of supply, they've been paying people to develop experimental cocktails, some of which don't work that well.
So they ran out of lethal injection classic, and now they're coming up with their own
new
formula.
lethal injection. It's gonna not work, and then they'll switch back and make billions of.
Yeah, yikes.
This is all off the cuff from
That's
what
horrific.
I've read. This is not like I do not have adequate backup, so you should do your own reading.
Right.
But this is what I understand about capital punishment right now.
Wow, to address this guy's ethical conundrum, though, I'd have to say, yeah, we want to avoid unnecessary suffering.
Yes.
You'd think at all costs. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Go.
Well,
No, I've been waiting to hear what you were going to say in the first place.
Okay. Well, no pressure then. So it sounds like he's saying, does it matter if there isn't a period after the suffering or because the dead body, etc. But the suffering still happens. So if you extend this and extend a period of time afterwards, you get to a kind of like, well, it doesn't even matter that I punched that guy because we're all going to die eventually. Like, it doesn't matter if this person suffers because then they're going to die and not care, right? Or am I
well,
like if they're going to suffer and then have 1 minute of thinking about it and then die, is that entirely immoral?
that somehow makes the.
I mean, it makes it.
That makes a difference
different.
to this guy's argument because the guys going through lethal injection never wake up, so they never experience the fact that they don't remember the
death,
the maybe pain they went through. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, if
It's weird.
It's
a weird conundrum.
You don't count the experiences that a person doesn't directly remember.
Yeah.
Because we've talked a ton about continuity when it comes to the teleporter problem that we're not talking about more this week.
Right. This isn't that.
So to be clear, it's not that necessarily that they're dead, right? With lethal injection, the people don't feel it, but like a person is unconscious, he's
immobilized.
Immobilized, but conscious and experiencing this pain, and then when they wake up, they won't have a memory of it.
Right.
But I don't know that having a memory of pain is what makes it immoral. Other
I don't know.
terrible things happen to people that they won't remember afterwards, particularly if they got roofied.
Well, if you're going through an operation, then obviously the pain that you don't remember, if that's the way if that's the hypothesis that ends up true, the pain that you don't remember is good for you because you've had the operation and it was a success and you're okay now.
Yeah.
But for a while there, you were in your own head screaming and clutching at that. You couldn't escape the horrible agony. So
what if you
horrific.
what if you just weren't given any anesthesia, but you were just operated on cold,
right?
And then afterwards,
down. Yeah.
Afterwards, they gave you the drug or the Men in Black flashy thing.
Men in Black flashy things make everything legal, or make everything moral. Haha. No.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Now that doesn't apply to his lethal injection argument. Because no one wakes up from that.
Yeah.
I mean, if pain, it's like Jamie was saying, if pain only matters when you remember it, pretty much you can, if you are executing somebody, it doesn't matter how inhumane you are.
Yeah. I guess we can tell Keith, yes, it's inconsistent. You don't have a problem with it in the sense of an operation, but you do have a problem with it in the sense of lethal injection. But, there's no rule that we have to be consistent.
Well, I think maybe
it's nice, but there's no rule.
I think the thing that may be throwing him, that may be causing this, is that the person presumably wants to go through the operation, and presumably the person being executed
that's a good
doesn't
point. Doesn't want to go through the execution.
So it's like, all right, we're forcing you to have this result of a thing that you don't want being dead.
That's another way.
Versus you choose to, have your liver.
Another way to look at it. Right. One person's buying into it, the other person isn't.
I was really originally going to go with a completely different angle before I heard the rest of his story, which is that you're saying there's no way to know, but I'm sure that you can come up with scientific tests.
It's just the setup for the argument,
Sure, I'll take the hypothetical moral quandary, but I doubt that anesthesia leaves you feeling all pain, but just not remembering.
Well, you seem to indicate that you knew the answer to that.
I thought you were going to say.
The thing that I knew the answer, maybe a little bit strong. That I have like I read about this in a reliable source that I can't remember this one time. Is that anesthesiologists, there's 3 focuses for types of drugs that they put together that have names that I don't remember. But that one of them is focused on like making a person unconscious.
Right.
Making a person body not mobile, and then making a person not feel pain. So it's like you don't know it, your body doesn't react to it, and you don't feel it.
Your body does. So that sort of indicates that the solution is you don't feel the pain.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that was brought up in this thing that I read a couple years ago, maybe? I don't know. I say that like you have access to my memory to check, but... if you do, I have some questions because I've forgotten more things than I can remember.
Oh man, no kidding.
But
you have.
They said that was the this is the nightmarish, you messed it up, right? You've gotten they can't tell you that they're in pain, they can't, move, but they can
feel it.
Yeah. I'll just Google how does anesthesiology work. Learn in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, I heard the same thing many years ago that they don't really know what's happening in the brain and what it does. But I find that hard to believe. I mean, with all the tools we have now to examine the brain, I'm sure they've come.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like knowing what's going on isn't binary. They've got a pretty good idea, but they also know there's a lot of known unknowns.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what that is, but it happens every time these two things.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that was interesting, Keith.
Yes,
Your
it was.
your position may or may not be inconsistent. The quality of oh God, what's the word when consent
Oh,
Yeah.
may be
Right.
may help
Yeah.
may help solve your quandary.
Yeah.
You can only hope.
yeah. I'm gonna.
It
Yeah,
might be
I'm just gonna pass on my impulse to start talking about Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Forget it. Let your imaginations
Right.
run wild on that.
I refuse.
Okay.
No, but I was going to say it might help him to think about, okay, well, if a person was for whatever reason forced to get an operation that they didn't want,
Right.
and that happened, and a person chose to have an operation that they did want, and that happened, if they compare those two things in their mind,
And
then they still had the same
refuse
inconsistent-
one, but say the other's okay. Then they are being consistent because it's
the consent.
the consent that makes the difference.
And
Right.
kudos for, critically interrogating your own conclusions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or actually, kudos for making us do it for you. But
It burned a lot of time. Let's go.
it
Sure
made-
did.
I enjoyed it.
Actually, last time I felt like I could not scrabble up enough news stories to make it through the show practically. This time I've read just one news story so far, and also I wanted to get to my thing early, so
Yes.
I'm gonna have to cut right to it, and we'll probably get back to news, but just not as much as usual. So sorry, folks.
You must do what you feel is right, of
contributed
course.
But I just want to make sure we have enough time for shit internet apologists say. I always especially love getting a shit internet apologist say delivered in something that is personal. And since we were both at the convention,
Oh, yeah.
we had a gift delivered in our laps at the end, which was that somebody from Oklahoma had been there.
Oh, were they local? I just knew they were from some ministry.
Yeah, I thought you read this.
I read it. I
Had
Well,
been
okay.
where?
read it once.
Had been at the
I don't know if
convention?
they took. Yeah, okay. I don't know if they took a trip to the convention or
Okay.
not.
They were definitely there, though. They're like,
They were there.
Okay.
well, here, I'll let you read it rather than saying, like,
Although
oh,
they-
yeah, let me vaguely remember the talking points.
They didn't talk about either of us at all, so
Yeah.
I feel like
they must not have been
they
paying
dropped
attention.
the ball on that.
Yeah.
But this is by a guy who doesn't name himself for King Ministries International.
His name was at the
Oh,
bottom.
here it is, Daniel King.
All
Yeah.
right.
Daniel King, kingministries.blogspot.com
I'm
on
sure
April
he came
1st.
open-minded with ready to have his mind changed.
Undoubtedly.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, I attended the National Convention of the American Atheists in Oklahoma City. I have no idea how much time this is going to take up, by the way. It's long. I don't know how much we'll feel like skipping around.
Okay.
Well, bring it on.
Maybe we'll end halfway and save it for next week or not. The main reason I went was to listen to what atheists are saying and to try to understand their viewpoint. Several years ago, I preached at a church in Missouri, and a mother asked me to pray for her son, who is an atheist. He was raised a Christian, but after reading a book by Sam Harris, he stopped believing in God.
Good kid.
She asked me to reach out to him in an attempt to talk him back into the Christian faith. I did, and we had several conversations, but I was unsuccessful so far in bringing him back to Christ.
Hey.
Right. So just keep harassing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Great.
Your story is not starting out with a personal triumph. Maybe it'll have an arc of some kind.
Yeah. His approach to that, like, I haven't been successful yet. I'm sure I'll talk him back into it.
But if I hang out at atheist conventions and don't talk to anybody and snark at them later in print,
There we go.
that'll show them.
yeah.
Then I'll understand how to talk about this. Yeah.
Yes, I'd be very curious to find out. Like, I mean, he name drops a bunch of people, but I'm not sure. He has. So
He said that I got this from Anthony Magnabosco, and he said like, oh yeah, he called or messaged me to double check a thing, and I corrected him on it. So he, after being there and not talking to anyone, he did want to like fact check something. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
Wait, fact check or faith check?
Well, I mean,
I'm going to faith check this story. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Actually, at the top of the blog now, he has a link about 2 phone conversations he had with people who were at the convention, and then read his article because we were passing it around a lot.
yeah.
So he had some discussions later. So maybe we should look into that some other time.
Yeah.
This encouraged me to study apologetics, his failure to win back the nephew.
Right.
Son.
Darn it.
The Ministry of Defending Christian Beliefs, and to start writing a book designed to rescue atheists from the pathway to hell.
I can't wait.
Yes. Oh, if only there were books telling me about how Christianity is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
Would win
somewhere
me right
hasn't
back.
heard about Jesus, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I don't know. They live on that random, completely isolated island in the Indian Ocean. Those are the only ones I know about.
Man, atheism is on the rise, but you know what the up and coming thing is that will save everybody? Print media.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right.
The meeting took place in a conference room at the Sheraton downtown hotel in Oklahoma City. The last time I was in this room was a pastor's meeting for the Reinhard Bonnke crusade that filled up the Cox Convention Center in OK City.
Man. This is the part where he starts with his like, my convention's better than your convention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
crap.
it was bigger crowd.
That was a fucking big convention center, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we weren't in the convention center. He is right. We were filling up a ballroom. There were like 850 attendees. But across the street, like, we were staying in another hotel, and every night to get back to the hotel, we would walk through the convention center, which was just open all the time and filled up the entire block. Like, I'm not even sure what conventions were going on there, but it was just open constantly. And
Yeah.
Wow.
There was some sports ball happening at the time, I think.
Yes.
People with the one where you bounce
oh yeah,
the
there was a
orange.
lot of basketball hype.
Yeah, that one. Was there a game? Never mind. I don't know. Something was happening. I saw people with jerseys.
But point to Dan here. We did not come anywhere close to enough people to fill that convention center.
Right.
Kudos, more people for us to deconvert. Yay.
I was privileged to serve as a counselor at that crusade and personally prayed with several people who wanted to become Christians. Yada, yada, yada.
Yada,
Bible
yada,
quotes,
yada.
Bible
Quit
quotes.
tooting
Is
your
that
own
like
horn,
a
dude.
special thing? Like a counselor? Does that just mean you got to talk to people about
Yeah,
Jesus?
basically, you just
Oh,
talk.
I
wait,
mean, hell, I was
there-
a counselor all weekend then.
Yeah. Wait, are there rules about when they can not talk about Jesus? Can I learn them so that I can not be harassed on the street? Would be only when I want to be? Like, are there secret rules that we could use to help people not be street preached?
I'm not
Jesus
aware of
called, whatever.
That's why they're secret.
Secret Christian rules that I don't know, man.
Sorry, I derailed this now. But it's only
Go
because
for
he
it.
keeps talking about how great his convention was.
Yeah,
and how
so I
Jesus
skipped past that part.
Hey.
Atheists often claim they're not a religion, but after being with them for 2 days, I have to say that they look and act an awful lot like a church.
Nope.
They had preachers.
Really? There was a lot of singing?
Yeah.
I
We
gotta
drink-
say,
There were a lot of people drinking, just, it wasn't free necessarily.
well, I mean, I'm gonna make some exceptions, but when I hear atheists sing as part of an event, I am rarely impressed.
Oh, well, yeah.
There are exceptions.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I like Tim Minchin, but I wouldn't say I ever go out of my way to rock out to Tim Minchin, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I rock out to Christian.
Stuff. Yeah. That.
so it said we act like believers.
Yes.
In that we breathe.
Yeah.
They had preachers, parentheses, speakers.
Okay.
Call them speakers. Why don't you, dickwad?
Yeah.
So,
God damn it. There's already
every-
a word for them.
like,
Those two
every
things are not the same.
If you don't have speakers, you don't have a convention. That doesn't make that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What else do we have?
God,
We had
fucking
giant
idiots.
crosses.
An offering. He does
What?
not go into detail on that one.
Offering?
Did I miss something?
I don't know.
Did the atheists ask for money?
We had to pay to go
I
in.
mean, they didn't.
Yeah.
pass
we
okay.
didn't because
didn't-
we were speakers.
They,
But
they didn't pass a hat to people fleeing their homes after a hurricane. So I'm pretty sure we're not.
well,
a church.
okay. I mean, they do go after big donors for sure.
Well,
I mean, I talked
sure.
to one.
Sure.
All right. Well, sure.
I talked to several. Hell, our own ACA financial advisor, who is a friend that I've made through these conventions, is also a donor to conventions.
Yeah, well, any organization worth its salt,
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
think
I don't
calling
know what
that
he
an
means by an offering.
Any organization that takes donations is a church now.
I guess so,
Apparently.
according to this guy.
And a class on how to convert other people to their way of thinking.
Any
True. That was Anthony Magnabosco's thing. he was referencing.
so any organization that says like, oh, here's some information that you should be concerned about is also a church.
A religion.
Yeah, so literally every charity that takes donations has pamphlets and wants you to be concerned about
raises awareness about a cause.
raises awareness. Those are all churches. Well, apparently I support several churches.
Right. Planned Parenthood is a church.
Planned Parenthood is
Awesome.
We should tell them that they can
Yeah.
get like just no questions asked tax exemptions and
Yeah.
pick political candidates just because they want. Apparently,
Now, I'm going to throw him a bone and just repeat something I said at the end of my live show that weekend, which
Yeah.
was not everything that churches do is bad.
Hey, sure.
One of the things I happen to think churches do well in their own way is provide a space where people of like mind can get together and enjoy each other's company. And
I agree.
I am all for atheism doing more of that.
Yeah.
And so that
There
doesn't
are-
make them a church, but
No.
no.
but if he's going to highlight that some aspects of organized atheism are like some aspects of organized religion, can't argue that much.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to point out that that's an aspect of organized for a community, but
Yes. Organized anything.
Yeah.
They
Right.
do this.
So
Hey,
apparently,
wait, can
the-
we send him to Comic-Con so that he can just freak out about how many like
Oh my God.
pagans and polytheists
What an
there are?
amazing
he will.
religion it is.
Ah,
Yes.
they're trying to become hobbits. Ah.
The Church of Marvel.
Yeah, just show him people cosplaying and just see what happens. Sorry.
atheism is a belief system that has all the
Bullshit.
elements of any other religion: dogma,
No.
heresy, discrimination,
Wrong.
bias, etc.
God, he never talked to anyone, did he?
No, I don't think
Later.
he did.
What a freaking asshole.
Atheists don't want an absence of religion in the public square; they want only their religion in the public square. Also, not true.
What are our
Not
precepts?
even wrong. Yeah.
What's our fucking holy book, dickwad? God damn it.
I'm gonna skim the
Pornography. That's what it is. It's all the pornography.
The selfish gene. It's your Bible. Oh, God.
and the
I saw
Lord
an
did
idol.
say to Jephath, "Oh yeah, right there."
Jeez. God, these
Are we gonna make graven images of like Dawkins now?
basically completely wasted his time going to this convention.
Yeah.
He didn't
Presumably-
learn a single thing.
Presumably he bought a ticket though, so that's good. I mean, he doesn't
We can hope.
say
Yes.
that, but
Unless, I mean, I
Unless
think
he
you could
was
just show up and
stealing.
lurk in the
I wouldn't
hotel.
put that past him. That would be
And
typical.
I cannot tell yet whether he went into the rooms and listened to any of the talks. And if he didn't do that, but just hovered, then he didn't necessarily buy a ticket.
That's true.
Right.
I thought it something later said he went to Anthony's talk. I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's find out.
Okay, so then he mocks the atheists for bragging that they gave away 30,000 meals to the homeless by saying that religious people give way more meals to the homeless.
Well, there's way more religious people,
Yeah.
dickhead.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, my ministry. I remember that.
And he lingers on an entire paragraph of 850 people is not very many. Nah.
Right, there aren't very many.
Cool,
true.
great. Then we're not a big problem. Leave us.
Right, leave
just
us the fuck alone.
Let us do our thing, and you can go hang out with your friends on Sunday.
All the atheists I met at the convention were friendly.
Uh-huh.
Point to us.
Not the
Good.
same can be said for fundamentalist churches.
No.
Yeah. But I'm actually thrilled to read that very small grudging sentence because if he had gone there and they had not been friendly, you bet that's what the whole article would have been
Yes.
about.
They hate God and they hate life and
They
they're
hate
literal
Ew.
demons.
Most of the people I met seem to be good quotes people.
Yeah.
I have
In
a lot of
quotes? What the hell?
And oh God.
I have a lot of respect for atheists because of their dedication to reason and evidence. But as a Christian, I think they misinterpret the evidence about God's existence.
How about they always say that like, oh, but as a Christian, da 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 da. And that one, I'm like, okay, so as a Christian, that, but as like a human that just thinks about things,
Yeah.
what do you think about the evidence?
Yes.
Oh.
So we have now a collage that he's put together as a picture. We got the Planned Parenthood table.
Oh, great.
They're very nice. We sat right next to him.
Yeah.
We have a note that says, I don't know,
sideways?
it's handwritten. Well, some of it is sideways. Informal poly meetup. So a thing about polyamory, I guess. Did somebody slip him this note? Like, I'm not sure where this note came from.
Neither am I.
Apparently, he intercepted some notes that people are passing by
Weird.
each other. This one even has like a phone
Sunday
number
school
on
teacher.
it, but it's cut off.
Okay. Well, hopefully he did that on purpose and realized that like,
Yeah.
Maybe.
perhaps the informal poly
glad he
meetup
cut off
people
the
were not
phone
trying
number.
to advertise on International Ministry of Jesus Come Bother Us web.com.
Right.
We have some rainbow pamphlets about, presumably gay stuff.
Gay
Sorry. Something allies. It's
I'll
really
allow
hard
it.
to read because the white text is on top of the yellow part of the rainbow. So I'm going to say point against graphic designers.
Yeah, it was,
Right.
insert some joke about printed by a straight person with no sense of fashion or
Yeah.
color or something, but that's not true.
Something
Straight
allies.
people can do art.
More than allies. There we go.
Ah.
And it's got the American Atheist logo on it. So, and then a button
Okay.
that says "Trans Lives Matter," which they do.
Sure.
All right.
The reason most people are atheists is because they want to have the freedom to sin.
There you go.
motherfucker.
Check that box off. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have bingo cards? Can we get those for this shit?
In the car on the way back, I was reading this to some of my travel mates, and at pretty close to this point in the article, one of them said, "Okay, I'm calling it. It's a Poe," and I'm like, "No, it's on a real
this is how
religious
these
ministry."
idiots think.
And he
Yeah.
was like, "But he's just trying to hit all the hot buttons of how stupid Christians talk." And I'm like, "That's how they
Precisely.
talk."
That's how they talk.
Yeah, there's a reason that those are those are their buttons. They invented them.
Sometimes stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to sound, Christian racist, but preachers say the same shit.
We've heard it so many times before.
Let me give you advice if you're not the kind of person who seeks out this stuff normally and finds it unusual when you do find it. If you see a blog like this, just keep reading and go back and find all the posts by this author. See how far back in time this goes, and then ask yourself, how much is this joke worth it if you think it's a joke?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
The most common theme of the conference was there is no God, but the second most common was I want to have sex unhindered by religious morality.
Was that your impression?
No.
I mean, no.
No.
It was
This guy couldn't be lying. That's a sin.
But I don't really like being hindered by religious morality, so...
I mean, I think the phrase
Also
religious
true.
morality is generous. Not
Yeah.
to
Oh,
continue saying this.
Yeah. They don't get to talk to us about morality. Sorry.
How is he surprised that the people that don't believe in God don't go, well, I don't believe in God, but everything that the Christian church teaches about sex, I follow that.
Religiously.
Because,
How is that going to make any sense?
does he know what atheist means? Does he know we don't know this?
Yeah,
Probably
but
not.
I mean,
Probably
he's
not.
I'm betting
also,
he doesn't know what
Yeah.
atheist means.
That's probably true.
he's also kind of inverting, like, cause and effect. He
Oh, yeah.
is saying that the primary driving force of atheists
Yeah.
is wanting to have more sex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be clear, it was like a convention, a lot of like-minded people that have similar experiences, meeting new people, etc.
Sure.
That, people find each other at these conventions, whatever.
And I bet there's a whole lot of it at Christian conventions.
Yeah.
Oh, no, certainly not.
gotta
not
freaking
good,
believe it.
not good Christian.
What? Oh, you're saying people hook up at Christian conventions?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
It's the fundamentalist believers that teach abstinence-only education, before they go downtown that evening.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can I just repeat again what I skimmed over at the top of the show, which was this pastor named Josh who sent a girl half his age a card
yes.
on her 18th birthday saying,
legal.
"We're legal."
Yeah.
Our friend Eric is outside making faces at us, and he
Yeah.
was also there.
Yep. Visibly reacting to the last things we've said. Yeah.
Yeah. He's mugging like crazy. It's too bad this is just an audio show.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey, did you know he's one of the hosts on Talk Heathen? No. Okay, sorry.
He's
Let's
an
get-
atheist because he just wants to mugs.
Maybe just yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Also, if that was the theme of the convention, was just, oh, I want to have sex all the time, then apparently I missed out. So
Sorry.
Yeah.
dead.
I might have gone then. I mean,
I don't know.
Oh, look at you proving this guy's point. All right. Things atheists cheer about.
yeah. What do we cheer about?
Oh, but I mean,
What got ovations?
before that, I just want to not miss this part where he
Oh,
says, they talk about all these school shootings, but who's responsible for school shootings? I think American atheists are.
What?
Because God is forbidden in the classroom, you know.
God, and it isn't.
Et cetera.
Jesus Christ.
All right, things atheists cheer about. Deconversion stories.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
We like to have people break the
Tell the
chains.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abortion.
I mean, no. Like, I don't,
Abortion?
I'm not like,
People
yay,
cheer abortion?
yay, abortion happened is not something I'm
No.
The right
like-
to have abortion.
Yeah,
I can't
well,
even.
I mean,
I can't even imagine that.
bodily autonomy. I've made some pretty dark jokes on and off the air, and I don't think I've ever been like, yay, abortion is great.
Now, I
So,
suppose if somebody told a story about
like,
the trials and tribulations and near impossibility of getting an abortion and finally succeeding, people might go, yay.
Yeah.
yay, yeah, but you're cheering their triumph over
yeah,
challenges.
They're cheering,
yeah.
they're cheering triumph over
Yeah.
obstacles.
Some asshats tried to pass a law that said that abortion was all outlawed, and they lost. That would be cheering.
I
That
would
would be
cheer that.
cheering,
Yeah,
yes.
legislative victories.
Yeah. The LGBTQ community.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, sure.
That?
They need cheers.
Fine fashion sense.
Yeah.
Insulting religious believers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
In large part, there are people that are like, well, don't
I
be
do that.
too rude, but
Stopping climate change.
oh, okay. Are we not supposed to cheer that?
No, we are not.
But what?
What has that got to do with the?
I feel
they'll
like
come
actually,
up with some reason it
I've
has
just-
to do with the frickin' Bible.
I've just thought of this. It's been said in the House of Representatives by a person elected to our government at one point that, oh no, there's no need to worry about global warming because here's this passage from the Bible. I think they read it that said, well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, they didn't say that.
Yeah.
They said the opposite. It's like, oh, and then God promised never to flood the earth again. If we convinced them that we were doing this and that it was like, oh no, and if God sees us destroying the climate, he's going to think that we're trying to be like him, like in the Tower of Babel. So don't be too, proud of your ability to destroy the earth because then you're sinning. I don't know.
You would think that's
At a certain point, I'm like, what
like that.
argument can I make from their view to tell them
Yeah.
not to destroy everything?
Yeah. Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that since they only respond to like emotional arguments and stuff like that, that we should make our arguments emotional.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if we're talking about conserving the environment, the place that we live at, sure. Like, it's sort of like if someone wouldn't listen to anything you said, but you figured out that they believed in the boogeyman, it'd be like, oh, no, there'll be boogeymen everywhere. They breed more quickly when the
right.
earth is hot.
Yes,
like,
it's
there's
true.
some of them trapped in the ice, and the ice is melting.
Yeah,
We gotta
they'll
stop
come out.
this.
They'll come out from the permafrost.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll hide under your bed forever.
All right, now we know what things atheists cheer. Here are what atheists boo.
All right,
Well, what
bring
do we
it on.
boo?
God.
Freedom. Oh, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Boo.
Yes. Boo.
Betsy DeVos.
Boo.
Yeah. Boo.
Why did her specifically?
He's got our number.
I don't know.
I don't know about you,
You don't
but
know the insiders,
yeah,
no.
I go
I'm
out of
gonna
my
boo.
way to be pissed off
Yeah.
about Betsy DeVos.
No. I mean, like, he's listing now specific. Does he have the entire
specific
cabinet
people.
on there?
This is...
I also boo Mike
Yeah, 'cause
Pence.
this could go on quite a while.
No,
Yeah.
it ends at Betsy
Oh, okay.
DeVos.
I boo Mike Pence as well.
I mean,
He's
look,
way more
I can
Jesus.
believe that he sat in on a couple of talks and Betsy DeVos was brought up and booed more
Probably.
than
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. Boo.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Hasn't she quit yet? Is she gonna? Never mind. I don't know.
afraid not.
Not soon enough is when she's gonna quit.
The Federalist Society. I'm not even...
Boo.
What?
It's they.
What are they?
As
I don't
best-
even know.
Judicial activism organized.
Okay.
Judicial activism from a conservative Jesus perspective organized.
It's probably something that sounds exactly the opposite. It's probably something that is exactly the opposite of what its title sounds like.
Yeah.
If it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Christians who teach their children to believe Christianity.
Yeah.
Boo.
I'll boo
I'll
that.
boo that. Yeah.
Abstinence education.
Boo. I mean,
Boo, doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. The results speak for themselves.
I believe in teaching people that abstinence-only education doesn't work. I feel like that's
That's a good
it
thing.
would be important.
So you're for abstinence education.
yes, as long as there's
Yeah.
And Hobby Lobby.
Abstinence.
boo.
Abstinence.
Yeah. Hobby Lobby was on the things that they boo, right? Is what that? Yeah. Right.
Most of the atheist crowd sounded like liberal Democrats. Many of them were gobsmacked by Trump's election.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And it seems they're still depressed over a year later.
Well, yeah.
His
the
presidency
destruction-
continues.
The destruction continues.
They're still upset that he does things regularly. It's like, well,
Yeah.
if he stopped being president, I would feel differently on a day-to-day basis about his presidency. I would.
Yeah.
Yep. I met lots of internet atheists at the conference, like Aaron Ra, who I feel like I hung out more than anyone else that wasn't from Austin.
To go back a moment,
Yeah.
it's good to know that we all sounded like liberal Democrats because we're also seeing articles about, atheism veering into alt-right.
That
I'm not gonna totally dismiss that Chris Stedman article because there is definitely a contingent of atheists who are steering hard that way.
Yeah.
I missed this article. I'll ask you guys for a
I'll
link
link it
afterwards.
to you. I can link it here. I'll link it in chat right now.
Oh, okay. Is there
There is a chat at the and if you guys are listening to the podcast, don't forget that we're also live on YouTube, usually without pictures. And there's a
live chat on the
excited chat going on all the time.
So what's next?
I may just be far too much of and I use the term grudgingly, Anglophile, but when he said liberal Democrats, I was like, wait, really? The party from the United Kingdom? What? Like,
Yep.
do we? Because they're just a bunch of drunks most of the time. I know that I often sound that way, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I want to say this article in Vice is by Chris Stedman, who is somebody I'm pretty sure we've ridiculed on occasion on the show. And I think with good reason, because he was like, atheists need religion, and let's make like more religious trappings. And I have a problem with that, but I think the observation that there's a weird right-wingy movement
within atheism,
is not incorrect.
Right.
Yeah. Wait, he's saying that we need more religious trappings?
He has in the past, like years ago. I mean, I don't know. I don't follow him much.
Right. Well, I'm going to continue our tradition of derailing things, but depending on what he said...
I'm going to take a break from this article anyway, because I feel like I'm hogging the show.
Well, I feel like what's his fuck is hogging the show with his dumbness or whatever.
But we're getting insight on the way they freaking think.
Yeah.
Which is...
interesting.
Think in scare quotes.
Yeah. Which is to say, having the community and like fun and party. Like I'm not opposed to traditions or even like dumb rituals. I kind of think that inventing a new holiday with random religious ritual. Well, yeah, like Festivus, yeah.
Okay.
Religious was, I didn't mean to say, but like that's clearly just invented. And for me, that is really helpful because all of the like, oh no, we need a Christmas tree and all this crap. It's like, it helps point out that all of that is random, arbitrary bullshit. And sometimes random arbitrary bullshit.
I feel
can be
a kinship
fun.
with you as maybe a fellow anti-Christmasin. Because, I mean, no offense to all you atheists out there who say, no, we need to reappropriate the holiday and talk about how secular it is. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Who cares about Christmas?
Yeah. Actually, I feel like if we were going to invent our own holidays, we should, if we do a gift-giving one, if we do one that's a gift-giving one, we should do it like shortly after Christmas so that when we're celebrating it, we can get all the Christmas bargains.
Sure.
Yeah, and then like if we have
for
like,
that.
Yeah, like 1 week later. Right?
Yeah, because I like stuff. That's the thing I do like about Christmas.
Yeah, like a holiday the weekend after Thanksgiving where we eat turkey. It would be so much cheaper because they would all be like, oh yeah, 5 cents a turkey because we bought too many. Like, it can be called the like what is the name of that effect in economics where it's like it spikes and then you have the peak in the valley.
Well, I'm sure it's an effect. I don't know.
It's
anything
like
about the name.
It's the. I mean, technically, the name for compensating for that is speculation, but like speculative holidays afterwards. I like inventing random rituals and stuff.
Does it have anything to do with arbitrage? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, forget it.
Okay.
Anyway,
do we have a good listener email?
Okay. Yeah, we're going to leave this guy, Daniel King, to stew in his fury over atheists. And
In his...
maybe come back to him or not.
in his arguments.
Or you can also come back to him next week, depending on how.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis. Or.
Nah.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
Let's see. For a split second, I was like, oh, someone dropped a link in the chat. Who is it? Oh, it's Russell.
Or we could just keep going on.
I mean, yeah. Well, what's the next thing that he brings up? Is it fun or is it dumb? Or is well, okay. How
dumb.
Fundamentalists.
Yes. Well, let's see. So he met Aaron Ra. Aaron has a 29 million views on his channel. I showed this to Aaron and said, does that check out? And he's like, yeah, it's about that. YouTube and podcasts are probably the two biggest tools atheists are using right now to convert people to atheism. It would be wise for the church to develop better videos so they can compete effectively in this space.
I'm really tempted, like someone somewhere in like chat or comments is going to drop a link to the YouTube video Rappin' for Jesus.
Oh, God. Yeah, Christians, do more of that. That's like our kryptonite.
Please. Yeah. Oh, no. What are we going to do? The guy standing visibly in frame
God,
with a smoke machine.
He's rapping. We're doomed.
Yeah.
Or Josh Feuerstein. I hear he's very, very successful at getting atheists to come over to his side.
Yeah. He seems angry all the time. Feuerstein.
Yeah.
Right.
You would think that Jesus would cheer you up more.
Yeah. It's just because he wants to be able to get forgiveness for his sins. That's why he's a Christian. He's just mad at the world.
Yep.
Turn their bullshit.
Man, whenever I meet Christians, all they want to do is sin and be forgiven.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the only reason they become Christians.
Yeah.
Got anything, Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is from James. Says, my parents were Catholic, but I knew from a very early age that I didn't buy into the God story. That being said, I went through the motions up to a certain point. That being said, I read this story today and swear I've never heard of this when I was growing up. Are they inventing new woo? If you guys could, what religious rituals would you institute? And he links to a bizarre-ass story out of the CBC News. That's
conservative bullshit crap.
It's a story in Montreal, from Montreal, about Catholic Quebecers up before dawn to collect Easter water.
Easter water.
Easter water. Millions of Catholics put on their Sunday best this morning to attend Easter masses around the world. While a group of Quebecers picked up their old plastic containers and bundled up before dawn, they made their pilgrimage to the bush to find Catholic-approved streams. Make their pilgrimage into the brush to find Catholic-approved streams and collect Easter water.
Oh.
Wait.
They believe it has the power to protect their homes and heal their bodies.
Oh, my God. Okay.
If that's about making money, I'm not sure what needs to be explained.
Well, I mean, I missed the part with the money. Are they paying for the water?
No. They brought mason jars and improvised containers like cleaned ice cream tubs to the stream. Okay. They knelt to harvest the water at the small creek, lit by candles and torches.
Is that like a normal thing that people use to carry liquid?
I guess so.
like you.
Well,
yeah. It's
big.
It's weird. It's
probably cheaper than a bucket. What does a bucket run you these days?
I don't know. I'm going to listen back to this episode and realize that this definitely means that I'm like an atheist activist now. That the weird part of that story to me is that they used ice cream containers to carry their Easter water from the stream.
This is your takeaway.
My takeaway is a little bit of self-reflection that like, oh yeah, no, all the crap they believe about water magic from Jesus because eggs, like, yeah.
That doesn't faze me.
Ice cream
containers?
buckets? Like, Don't those get weakened when your ice cream melts?
Some collected it for themselves and others for a larger community. I'm doing my Easter distribution this morning, said Johann Richard, who has been collecting Easter water since he was 18 years old. It's
Wait.
not eggs, but it is water, and I distribute it to people who are unable to come, the elderly.
They're unable to come.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
phrasing.
I was going to say, this statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. Here's some Easter water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's protection, he said. It protects the house. It protects the members of the family. I use it for small sores, too.
Oh, boy.
So it's basically
Bullshit.
the small stream in, I'm not even going to try to pronounce where that is, meets the criteria needed to produce Easter water. It doesn't freeze or stagnate. It was discovered about 20 years ago by the Quebec branch of the Knights of Columbus, a global organization for Catholics. A path to the water source was cleared by the local members of the group.
So
What
Wow.
was the question again?
said
I think it was mostly,
wasn't a
what
question.
the fuck is this?
Yeah, he says, what the hell?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this, he says.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the deal?
He was a Catholic for years, and I've never heard of it.
What's the deal with this? It's so small
Bizarre.
and difficult to break into, and there's not a lot of peanuts in it. Airline food.
So actually, this kind of turned into
You're so
not so
right.
much a reader mail, but a news story. So
Yeah. So every year that I have so many questions. like is this?
you got to collect the Easter water.
I've got okay.
I don't know if it comes from a bunny
I'll agree to drink some of it,
or
possibly.
whether
if they'll
priests
tell
bless
me.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, have they limited their ability to bless holy water? Is that a thing?
I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. So,
All right, I'm gonna research the shit out of that.
So you got any news?
Easter water. There was some big news this week. Like a whole bunch of people submitted a variety of stories about the fact that the Pope supposedly said that hell doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Did he in fact say that hell doesn't exist?
Kind of.
Is it along the lines of his gay is okay statement, where he said something that kind of meant that kind of, but he's the Pope and did nothing in his popely
Yeah,
duties
this is
to
what I
change
always assume when I hear the Pope said something nice story, which is the Pope said something and then people scrambled to interpret it in the nicest way possible, and then later he came out and said, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
The
Right.
status quo still applies.
Yeah. I mean, to be clear, as a person, he seems nice in that there are things that he feels that are not in line with Catholic doctrine, like, gay people, I can't judge them. But apparently he doesn't feel that enough to actually change the fact that apparently they're going to hell, which also still exists.
Yeah, and then he will backpedal and say, no, they're still going to hell.
Yeah.
Unless they repent and go with
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's
Which
a really
is the
good,
same thing the church has always said.
Yeah.
Just more politely. I'm gonna credit Twitter people for submitting nonprofits news. We got Prof, we got John Ezel, and we got Chris Bastian. All submitted Pope stories, and also some people on Facebook. But I'm going to too many tabs. What I
Told me
wanted
to use them.
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say.
particular the particular one I wanted to start with, oh good, I did organize these, was just the backpedal, which was posted on npr.org. Pope to world, hell does exist. Things got
Really?
a little
Yeah.
Wow.
Things got a little heated at the Vatican this week when an Italian journalist reported that Pope Francis denied the existence of hell. Apparently, the fiery 93-year-old avowed atheist reporter Eugenio Scalfari of La Repubblica set the social media world aflame after writing in Italian. When asked about the fate of bad souls, the pontiff responded, "Hell does not exist." Hey, a tip for firebrand atheist reporters: maybe don't frame things in a way that makes the Pope look better if you're going to fabricate stuff.
Yeah.
On Good Friday, the Vatican issued a statement, And to be fair, it could be other people in the Vatican backpedaling what the Pope says,
Yeah.
because that's the pattern. What is reported by the author in today's article is the fruit of his reconstruction, in which the precise words uttered by the Pope are not cited. True. No quotations of the aforementioned article then should be considered as a faithful transcript of the words of the Holy Father. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, immediately after death, the souls of those who die in a state of mortal sin descend into hell, where they suffer the punishments of hell, eternal fire.
Hey, well, wonderful.
Yeah. What's interesting is when they issue a statement, it sounds so formal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
well.
it doesn't sound like they quoted the Pope either. I mean, I don't know what he said, but it's like when Donald Trump tweets something and then for some reason
The White House has to interpret it.
Yes, and for some reason the next tweet he makes, which is much more moderated, seems to be coming from a different device.
Yeah. It's the people that needed to understand what kafef meant, understand what kafefe means. It's and then just move on. Unbelievable.
So there's another story in The Guardian, which I think is just pulling the same press release. So that's not that interesting. So let's go back to where this was reported. Vatican scrambles after Pope appears to deny the existence of hell, and then good radio. Yeah. Pope to world, hell does not exist. Also reported in NPR a few days prior, March 30th.
Yeah.
You know, if he'd waited a couple more days, he could have said, April Fool.
That's true.
Except April Fool's Day was really awkward this year. They couldn't call it National Atheist Day like they always do because it was Easter.
Yeah. Well, there's International Atheist Day is now March 23rd.
Oh, why is that?
Yeah. It's did you meet Kadra at the convention?
No.
Oh. Well, he's organizing a whole international celebration to do annually, and the 2019 one is going to be big, but
Yes.
that's a whole separate kit and caboodle.
But what the hell? I just realized we're over time already.
Oh, are we?
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go to the hell that definitely exists, so we should follow the rules.
This show just blew by, you guys. Stop being so entertaining.
Never.
So are we closing it? We taking it out?
Yep. I guess we'll never find out what this Dan guy really thinks about atheists. Go to kingministries.blogspot.com and find out for yourself.
I'm sure that at the end of it, he was like, just kidding. I'm an atheist
Actually,
too.
atheists are great.
Or at least,
it.
the last article is, at least that's what I thought, until I stopped for a moment and was like, do I really believe this Jesus thing? And then it was the best weekend ever. No gods.
And I had all the sex.
There you go.
It's great. Yeah. I'm wearing rainbow now. I learned some new things about myself.
All your sex are belong to us.
I got 12 abortions. Yay, abortion.
Yay!
Dennis.
All right. Now you are one of us, and now you must prepare. We shall return in 2 weeks on the 18th of April to claim what is ours. Be ready. Run outro.